Good evening, everyone, if you're joining us. So our first speaker is Maria Eksteen. And the title of Maria's speech this evening is From Broken to Whole. So Maria Eksteen is a neuro-language and a neuro-leadership coach. She is on a mission to empower a more humane generation of new leaders. She believes that true leaders are aware of what makes humans human and act accordingly in leading others, as well as, first and foremost, themselves. So tonight, she is here to share with you her personal leadership journey from broken to whole. So let me invite Maria to come forward now. And Maria, it's going to be over to you in just a moment. Please, our fellow speakers, put yourselves on mute. And it's over to you, Maria.
Thank you. What a year, this 2020, hey? Well, 2020 was actually one of the best, if not the best year of my life. After years of being lost, consciously lost, in the wilderness of my existence, touching my way as I was going along, making progress, but often feeling stuck or spinning my wheels. 2020 delivered a clear vision of me, a 2020 vision, therefore. And it became crystal clear to me who I was and where I'm going. My awakening started with a watershed moment in my life, a divorce. This was then 2004. Today, I can look back and say, Maria, there are worse things in life. And I can even philosophize without philosophizing, that where a door closes, a window opens. But at that moment in time, it was as if the rug of my existence was taken from under my feet. Everything that I believed in came tumbling down. I was left feeling lost, hopeless, completely broken. And with what I thought was the insurmountable task of rebuilding myself. So I went on a quest for answers and tools that would help me do just that. And as I went along, life kept throwing at me more and more challenges. More challenging relationships, job dissatisfaction, financial dire straits. It was as if the universe was kind of poking me and making sure that I would see my quest through. It was as if the universe was poking me and asking me, Maria, are you interested or are you committed? So I went along in this journey, and probably one of the biggest challenges that I faced at this stage of my personal development was when I was asked, who is Maria? Without me being able to find a plausible answer to the question. So how exactly was I going to rebuild myself if I didn't know who or what I really was? Well, 2 years ago, I landed in hospital. And again, believe you me, I was lucky. It could have been worse it could have been a lot worse. Where cancer was a possibility, a meningioma became my reality. Meningioma, yeah, you know, a marble-like thing between my brain and my skull. That's it. But while the doctors were looking for a diagnosis, I was made to stay put in a hospital bed for a week. And as it so often happens when we stay put, when we enjoy some stillness, it came to me the realization that up until then, I had only really scratched the surface. If I really, really wanted to get to my destination, I would have to go deeper, dig much, much deeper. I would have to dive into, you know, the deepest crevices of my being and rebuild myself from there. So, and the journey carried on. Fast forward to 2020. And again, I was made to stay put. Well, as a matter of fact, the whole world and myself. And again, with that stillness, the quest continued. And through a web of wonderful synchronicities, the tool, quantum healing, that I've been looking for, finally delivers me to my wholeness. Quantum healing? What is quantum healing? I can hear you ask. So let me tell you. Quantum healing is a branch of NLP. But rather than a two-dimensional approach where the subconscious becomes conscious, quantum healing has a three-dimensional approach, aligning subconscious, conscious, and unconscious. Or if you want, mind, body, and a higher version of yourself. So that was what delivered me finally to my destination, because you see, quantum healing is more than a management tool. It's a resolution tool. And I became to the resolution of me. So, my friends, let me make you an invitation. The next time that life throws at you some challenge, rather than asking yourself, why? But why is this happening to me? Ask yourselves, why is this happening for me? Stay with the question, stay curious, see where it takes you. And I can promise you that at the end of the rainbow, there's a beautiful jackpot, the true, authentic, whole you. Now, most of us are born whole. That is my belief. But slowly and steadily, life starts chipping away, bit by bit, that wholeness of ours, until we come to a point, some more than others, that we barely recognize who we are. But you know, this story is really not about me. This story is about our human journey. How I believe that we are more, so much more, than we are led to believe. Like we, as humans, in this journey deserve to be aware and have nurtured this human experience. How I believe that we want and we need to actually be cherished and shown how magnificent we are. This was my journey. And if I could do it, so can you. So come on, take my hand. Let me take you on a similar journey. And I promise you, life will never be the same again. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. So, yeah, thank you very much for that, Maria. I'm always so impressed by how beautifully you speak, as that was no exception. Okay, so that was quantum healing, everyone. Quantum healing, the mind, the body, and the higher self. Now, it's been really interesting looking in the chat. Thank you for your reactions in there. Now, does anyone have a question for Maria? You can post that. In the Q&A. I'll do my best to pick it up. It doesn't have to be right now. There could be an opportunity for some questions in a while. But if you do have a question about anything that any of our speakers this evening shares, then I really want you to feel that you have the space to ask a question, because that could really be a huge contribution to us all, who are here listening. And I know sometimes audiences, when we're in a live situation in a room, in fact, many people actually feel a little bit nervous about asking a question. But I think in this forum, in the digital forum, it's even easier, isn't it? It's really quite easy to ask a question. So don't be shy. And it's also been interesting just seeing who's here, those of you who've shared where you're from. It's absolutely fantastic to see people joining this event from so many different places, and I'm sure for so many different reasons. So I really want to welcome you all again. If you missed any of the introduction, let's just see. Somebody has posted in the Q&A, Maria said a beautiful line. Are you committed or are you only interested? Are you committed or are you only interested? And so this person is wondering if, Maria, if you can elaborate more and how that might help us develop.
Certainly, it's my pleasure. So very often we won't change, and we say we won't change. But the truth of the matter is, once we start on this path, we have to recognize that this path is not necessarily an easy path to be. It requires persistence, it requires courage, because ever so often we are faced with things that we don't necessarily have to face. So sometimes we say we want to change, but we really, when the going gets tough, we kind of resist it rather than persist. So when we are committed, we stay the course and we see it through. So that is the difference. The difference between saying that your interest is say, oh, I want this change, but being committed means you will see it through no matter what it takes and how hard it might get.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for that, Maria.